We'll begin with some default setups. It is important to realize that the default setups are not necessarily identical to what we see when we first power up the instrument, nor are they the same as after a factory servicing or when first powering up. For this demonstration, I have powered up this MDO3104 Tektronix Oscilloscope. MDO in the model number denotes that it is a mixed domain oscilloscope, not to be confused with the MSO, or mixed signal oscilloscope, as explained in a previous video. 3 in the model number denotes series 3000, which describes a range of general purpose and laboratory grade instruments. The 4 at the end of the model number tells us that there are 4 channels, each of which has a dedicated analog input port, and each of which can be accessed separately and processed and stored internally or displayed separately or in combination with others. When you first power up the oscilloscope, at a minimum you see the default setup. In addition, you may see whatever channels with content were active in the last session. But at a minimum, you should see channel 1. At a certain point, the screen begins to fill up with excess menus, which tend to block your view of the display. To clear these old menus, press Menu Off. We are now looking at the default channel 1 with no signal, or, more properly, a signal of 0 volts. Notice that the dedicated color for channel 1 is yellow. Additional channels superimposed when powered on are channel 2, blue, channel 3, purple, and channel 4, green. All of these channels, with separate signals, are displayed simultaneously when turned on. Of course, a signal has to be connected at the input port at the bottom of the front panel. Incidentally, as in a computer, the display dims down after so much time with no activity. It can be restored by pressing any button. The oscilloscope, like all modern DSOs, digital signal oscilloscopes, has many functions. We'll look at one of them for a start. AFG stands for Arbitrary Function Generator. Function, in the language of the mathematician, is the same as what we mean when we say signal. Arbitrary means the user has the ability to create and display original and unique signals. The Tektronix Series 3000 oscilloscope has an internal AFG. To access it, plug a BNC cable into the output port on the back panel marked AFG out, and plug the other end of the cable to an unused analog output port on the front panel, in this case, channel 1. With the channel buttons pressed, the default sine wave is displayed. If the signal is on but not active, press the AFG button a second time. Now we can work with the sine wave. First, press Waveform. This is the button at the left, below the display. It brings up the vertical submenu on the left, which lists 13 available internally generated waveforms. Use multipurpose knob A to scroll through them. If one doesn't look right, like Gaussian, here displayed with the trace jumping around, it is because the signal parameter differs from the most recently displayed signal. In a previous time, the technician had to adjust frequency, amplitude, phase, and scaling, etc., until all of them came together correctly and simultaneously to get a cogent display. Now we just press Auto Set, and there it is. That is a stable Gaussian waveform. Going back to sine, we may have to press Auto Set again. Auto Set always sets the correct parameters for the waveform currently displayed. One of the most interesting AFG submenus is Math. Pressing the Math button with the AFG displaying the sine wave, the Math mode is activated. Notice that the horizontal Math menu is displayed across the bottom. The dedicated color is red. We'll explore the Math mode in the next video. Thanks for watching. New videos are added periodically, so check back soon.